neighbors. Today we have one of your favorites and mine, Caitlin Armstrong. If you're new around here, Caitlin Armstrong is an OG Neighbors guest. She was our first guest ever and then has been on several times since then. She's one of my best friends, but she's also just a fierce Bible teacher. She's a leader in our church. She's an incredible wife and mom, and just overall woman chasing after God and his heart and his word and all of the things. And so today is a super fun conversation. We brought the Wheel of Topics back where we spin it and talk about random topics, funny and serious. So I hope you laugh. I hope you learn a little bit more about God and our stories, and overall you just leave feeling encouraged and that you're right where you're supposed to be doing what God has called you to do. So here's my conversation, Spin the Wheel of Topics with Caitlin.
Okay, that really put me in a good
5,
mood.
6, 7, 8.
John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith.
Da-na-na.
His name is my name too.
Choo.
Whenever he goes out,
Ow.
people always shout.
Shout, shout.
John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith.
Da-da-da-da-da. Okay.
That made me so happy.
Welcome to the Neighbors Podcast. It's your favorite, Caitlin Armstrong.
Hello.
Who had to start the episode off with In Song.
That made me so happy.
We were singing that song before we hit record, and then we were like, Wes, why aren't you recording? This is gold.
This is good content, Wes.
Caitlin wants to make sure we start off with her shoes as if we have any other option.
Okay, but these are different. You know this because right after the last episode that I was on, I got these.
Yes,
and I've
you
been
did.
waiting a long time to show them off to our neighbors. They've been out and about in the world, but
Tell us about what's on your feet.
so
You always, when you do it, you always point the toe.
I want, whoever's watching, I want them to get a full view. It's a silver platform croc with a giant puffy silver bow on top. Now, I'm not a big bow girl, but the combination of this was so outrageous.
Completely outrageous.
The platform and the bow combined, and then I've paired it with, of course, a checkered sheer sock, translucent.
That I picked out for you.
That you
Thank
found.
you.
It came in a duo, and this is the first time I've worn these socks, and I will say that they are fabulous. They feel great. They breathe well.
Everybody that's listening has now paused and is running to YouTube to see what on earth a silver platform heel croc with a puffy bow is. Literally.
But can I tell you, because you've tried these on,
I have.
and I know they go against your beliefs, but you told me that you felt good in them. And I said that when I wear these, I feel powerful. There's something about them.
Yeah, they're
And-
very comfortable and they make you like 3 inches taller.
Yeah, and you have a sturdy platform. You
Sturdy
have
base.
a fun bow. And I was at a restaurant, and these very fabulous, fierce women stopped me
Stopped you in
to
your
talk
tracks.
about the croc. And then as I was leaving, they said, yeah, you walked that walk. Okay, so that's all I needed to really reinforce.
No, you actually didn't need
No,
that. You
I
didn't. You needed no further encouragement. And then that happened and you are in an orbit. You're in orbit in your Crocs. Literally no one can pull you down.
No, and you know my problem, because since then I've ordered
Crocs have a chokehold on you.
2 other platforms, which I just
Croc
got.
platforms.
Croc platforms, different than these. It's more of an open sandal, but they're fabulous. I just got this heinous acid color, and it makes me look so tan. And I was just wearing them before this, and I'm getting compliments left and right.
You wore them to your school's orientation.
100%. I wore them to my kids' school orientation. But listen, men
absurd.
and women, children, they stop me and they ask me
Because
about
they
these.
feel like they can't not. They feel like it's so glaringly absurd. They have to comment on them.
Well, I mean, you'll welcome
take
the
whatever.
comments. So
You're kind of like Noah Lyles in the Olympics. He said, I saw in a post interview, he said, whether you like me or not, you watched, didn't you? I feel like that's kind of your vibe. Whether you like him or not, you saw him.
absolutely.
And you commented on him.
Absolutely.
We'll talk about more in the Olympics later.
Yeah.
Okay, we have our Wheel of Fun.
Yes. I love the wheel.
So if you haven't joined us before, we haven't really officially named this. I guess we just call it the Wheel of Topics. And although we're better than that, we're more creative than that. We need to find an actual name.
We just haven't really put any effort
we have
to
written,
it.
this is a new variety of topics, different from the last episode. And we just take turns spinning it, and then we talk about whatever topic the wheel lands on. What?
But before we start, you yourself have gotten a bit of a glow up with a new,
I don't know what you're talking about.
With a new haircut. You have wild nails.
Okay,
and
well,
some new
my
overalls.
nails are not good right now. I do have these new overalls on, but yeah, I chopped like 5 inches off my hair.
Yeah, which is a big move for you.
New. I
It's
saw a
great.
picture of me from. We were at student camp and I saw a picture of myself and my hair ends. I'm like, who's letting me walk around with my dead ends like this? So I blame you and other friends. And I hadn't gotten a haircut. I mean, we're talking probably 2 years.
Oh, wow.
And so I walked in to my girl Izzy and I said, I think it's time. And she said, it's time.
She did it good.
And I really like it.
Oh, it's sassy. It's fun. I mean, you went out last night because you were feeling so new. You and your hubby went out.
I know. Usually after church, we just go home and go to sleep because we also have 2 kids. But the kids were at the grandparents' house.
Yeah.
And church was over. I was feeling fun and
I'm telling you, a new
adventurous.
haircut that you like will...
You'll do bold things.
You'll do bold things. It'll bring you up 10 notches. You feel lighter.
10 notches.
You feel sassy. You feel
I know,
bold.
It's so true. I really was feeling bold.
But then it's like after the first wash.
Oh, it's over.
Then it's done.
Oh, yeah, the first wash. Because we're still in like professional styling mode. Yeah, so I came home and Wes was laying on the couch watching a game and I was like, we're going out.
We're going out and you did it.
Yeah. I had 2 glasses of wine. It was crazy.
Wow. And you're here this morning looking
Yeah,
lovely.
feeling great. Ate Egg Boy this morning, my favorite place in Jacksonville. Shout out Egg Boy. If you haven't been to Egg Boy in Mayport.
Big fan.
I am a big fan. I should be on their staff team because
Sponsors
I
coming.
should be an ambassador.
100%.
Yeah, I hear that. Nick from Egg Boy. Okay. You want to go first or want me to go first?
Heck
You go
yeah.
first.
What are we at? I can't read it.
Of course we're starting with this one. Our husband's pet peeves about us. Okay, so this is on the Wheel of Topics because last time we put on here pet peeves, and then we kind of started talking about, I think on the episode, that our husbands have pet peeves that we do, and we think they're so funny.
Yeah.
And one that we have in common is how the eggs are cooked.
Right.
Wait, right? Because
Yeah. Well, because Ron overcooks his.
Oh no, so it's opposite.
It's opposite, right? No,
Wait,
no.
Ron Ron overcooks them. Yeah. Okay.
Ron overcooks the eggs. There's a smell. There's a texture, and I'm done. I'm
No,
like,
this is supposed to be about their pet peeves about us.
okay.
You're
Well, you
making
got
it
me
about-
started.
You're making it like it's your.
Well, no. Then tell them what Wes thinks about your eggs.
So my pet peeve, the way I cook eggs. Let's be
yeah.
clear. Wes thinks I undercook eggs. And so he'll often say, and he's so nice about it, but he'll say, do you think we could like cook the eggs a little bit longer? So before we started recording this and we were talking about it, you asked Wes.
I said,
what'd you
how do you
say?
want them? How do you want them, Wes? And he says, I just want them cooked. And
Like he's 100% right. Egg cooking is objective. There's a level. It's as if there's right and there's wrong. And
No, there's an
My
absolute
eggs are
right
wrong.
way to do it. And we are on the right.
We're right.
Yeah. One of the things that bothers Ron that I do is he says I put the little things on the top shelf of the refrigerator. The little things.
Wait, why is that bad?
He just doesn't
Where does
like
he
it.
want them?
He wants the milk jugs up there.
Oh, on the tall shelf?
Yeah, on the tall one.
Oh, that's bad. Yeah.
It's not bad. And it's not like I'm I got 500 coffee creamers stacked up there and they're gonna fall down.
Right.
No, I'll put like a yogurt or
yogurts on-
something, especially if the kids have opened it or I don't want them to get
And
it.
he's not
And
about that.
it just bugs him. Oh, and he also, this is where we differ so much. He does not want a light on in the house if we're not using it. Like if it's not so he's gotten so much better. My dad was the same way. You had to turn off every light if you left the room, all of this. And so I'll be in the
my dad's the
kitchen,
same way.
and we have 2 lights in the kitchen. We have like the main one, and then we have like a little nook area, and you can turn that one. So I'll be in the kitchen, and I like both the lights on when I'm in there cooking stuff. And it's like
second
muscle
nature,
memory.
right.
He just walks by, and then I look at him, he's
can
like,
we not?
sorry. So we differ on those
funny.
things.
Okay, one that's currently happening in our house right now is, so Wes, which I recognize that this is a huge blessing in my life. And I'm going to sound like such a brat when I say this. But Wes packs our suitcases for us and unpacks them. But I went on a trip by myself last week, so it's only my clothes in the suitcase. And the suitcase is still full sitting on our floor. And we've been home for over a week. I've been home for over a week.
You didn't unpack
And he
it?
asked me the other day, he said, so before we were married, like, how long would you go without unpacking your suitcase? And I am not kidding. Sometimes I went months.
Ow.
And I would just wait till the next trip at that point.
No, I'm with Wes. I'm immediate. We go
how
into
he
the
is.
house, and I go straight.
Even
and
if
I
you're
start.
dead tired,
Yeah.
you just have to do it. That's how he is.
Now, I mean, a very rare exception, it would go until the next day.
But
that's
never beyond that.
No.
Yeah. So, and every day, I keep telling myself, I gotta clean out the suitcase today or Wes is not gonna be okay.
So is it up now?
No, it's still full on my floor. But today's the day. The kids are
the day.
napping this afternoon.
Yeah.
I'm determined.
You said it out loud.
I
I can hold you accountable.
It has to happen. Okay. All right, ready?
Next topic.
That was a good spin.
That was good. What is that? The topic is makeup girlies. Okay.
Oh, makeup girls.
Oh, girlies is even worse.
Because we are quite the opposite of actual makeup girls. Okay, so this is a funny and serious one. But we always joke because recently we have both purchased contour sticks for our makeup, which we feel like we're really elevating our makeup game.
But don't act like we did it together. Like you did it and then you were an influence on me.
I was an influencer.
You were an influencer. And I didn't know. I text. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I watched like a YouTube tutorial.
Yeah, you
know?
have to.
But it's not like we're not near contour world.
I feel like people would look at us and have no idea that we used a contour stick.
100%.
Or that we're even trying to contour. But I feel good about myself.
Oh, 100%. And so when were you allowed to first wear makeup?
Ooh, good question.
Growing up.
Okay, I vividly remember in 7th grade in Target, I asked my mom if I could get metallic teal eyeliner. And
Do you remember the brand?
Wet n Wild.
Wet n Wild, yes.
It had to be.
Yes.
And I wore metallic teal bottom eyeliner only. No mascara, nothing else. No face makeup. I mean, we're talking probably 2 years I wore
2
that.
years.
And then I went into a dark black eyeliner top and bottom phase for a while.
I think we all went through that.
What about you? When did you first start wearing makeup?
Probably really high school, but I mean, as you could probably guess, I loved the outlet of like the creativity, just like when you dress, you know, and I never felt like I had to wear makeup to go out of the house or anything. I just loved being weird with it. So I went through a phase of white mascara.
Oh, that was a phase.
Do you remember that? And blue mascara.
Blue, which I actually feel like I've been seeing blue coming back.
I feel like it is, but white is
white's
not
bad.
I mean, you look completely washed out.
Wait, are you sure it was okay? Because they
It
also
could
had
have
the
been, like-
two-sided,
yeah.
and there was white and black, but the white was just to extend.
No,
are you
I'm
sure you
pretty
weren't
sure-
stopping at the extend?
No, I'm pretty sure I bought white mascara from MAC because MAC has all the crazy.
Oh, true.
Every year I would get a new MAC color. So I would wear a full rainbow eyeshadow
you did.
to high school with white mascara, but like no face makeup. I hated foundation. So like I would just go full on, just bare face and full rainbow eyeshadow.
Okay, so we both played soccer in high school, and in high school, I mastered the smoky eye, and I read about it in a 17 magazine, and I was like, I'm doing the smoky eye. So I went to school every day in high school with a full smoky eye, and then I would wear it to soccer.
Oh no,
in my
I couldn't.
full smoky eye. No, you didn't wear the makeup to soccer.
I have a strict policy on doing athletics and sportings with
sportings. We're very serious about this rule in sportings.
Sporting events with makeup on.
Yeah,
I just have a strict.
now if I have an ounce,
in a full,
I would play
smoky
soccer
eye?
games with a full smoky eye and full like a full face of makeup, which makes me cringe now. I'm sure I had brown
I
eyeshadow
can't
just
even
all over my face.
Imagine
Just full smoky eye. Okay, but I do feel like one thing I'm really grateful for is I feel like, and I'm sure my parents instilled this in me, but I never feel like I have to have makeup on.
Yeah.
And that's something I feel really passionate about teaching our girls is makeup is a fun, creative expression.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fun to put makeup on and feel good and go out and stuff. But there's also so much freedom in not wearing makeup.
Oh,
and I actually think Wes likes how I look better without makeup, which also is really freeing.
Absolutely, yeah. And I feel the same with having a daughter. And like even now, it's super fun. Like she loves, because I'm really into lipstick right now. I got my
sparkly purple
sparkle.
situation.
So she'll like put a little on there, whatever. And I think it's completely fun to do that, but there's just not, she's not gonna see me say anything about, I can't leave the house, or I can't do that because I don't have my makeup on, or anything like that, you know?
Yeah. And that's how, my mom, if she had her choice, she would never wear makeup again, probably. And so I feel like I just always saw her very natural, and I just love that. And I hope more women continue to embrace the natural look, because I feel like it's getting, I feel like it's popular and it's more accepted than, I feel like there was like a makeup generation where, like my grandma never left the house without a lip on. Even still, she's almost 90.
Oh, yeah.
And not seeing
love a
anybody
red
really
lip.
even, and she's putting on a hot pink lip at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Which, I do think that there is something deeper. There's another layer there of if you feel like you can't leave the house without makeup, like I would just encourage you to ask the Lord, like, show me what's under there. Is there insecurity, a fear, a lie that someone's, told me, or just really seeing it in parents or the way they were raised, and just ask the Lord to show you what's underneath there.
For sure. All right.
My turn.
Your turn.
What do we got?
Target horror stories. Yes. If you're a mom, 10 out of 10, you've had a Target horror story.
100%.
And the way that this came to mind was, I remember running into you. I think I was pregnant with Sunny, so I hadn't had any kids yet. And I ran into you at Target, and you were with your mom. And at the time, Jubilee, you had her in a carrier on your chest, and then your boys were what, 2 and 3, or 3 and 4?
3 and 4, yeah.
And they're in the cart, and your cart's full. And I just see you leave. You were leaving Target, and you looked like you had just been through war.
Oh.
Through war. And I'll never forget that. And then I had my own personal Target horror story just a few months ago, because we just entered into the full toddler phase. And so then we were talking about that Target horror stories would be funny. So you go first. Tell us your worst Target horror story.
Was, I guess, probably... Well, my youngest is 3, Jubilee's 3. So I guess like 2 years ago, I was in this hard season of life, and I was having panic attacks that were not really, they were just kind of would come on really fast, and I'd have to lay down on the floor, like I couldn't really do anything. And that's under control now, but there was a season that was happening, and I was thinking about this the other day. I'm like, why did I think taking my 3 children to Target during this season was a good idea?
No, that was not a good idea.
And all I can remember is I think Ron had been sick, or he had just gotten home from a long trip or something, and I was trying to let him rest. I think he was sick probably. And so I was like, I'm just going to take the kids out. I had a wild hair, and We get to Target. Everything's good. I tell them.
It always starts off good.
It always starts.
Well, I guess sometimes it doesn't.
It's like I have amnesia. Like there's
100%.
the time before that was a complete goat show, and I'm
then
just
you're like, this time will be different.
They're gonna behave. So I tell them each that they can pick out. Some we go to a specific area and they can pick out one thing it's like $5 and under or something. So I think the two of them pick one, and then the third just can't handle it, and he's not getting what he wants, and he wants something else, and screaming, yelling. So I start going into a full panic attack.
Gosh.
And so I can't, my heart is racing, my chest is tight, I can barely breathe. And I'm hunched over the cart. And I'm like, it's like funny, but not funny.
Right.
It was,
It wasn't funny then.
And I'm hunched over the cart. And so I'm like, we have to get out of here.
Yeah.
And so because the other two can't get what they want,
they explode.
Then they explode because I can't stand in line at this point. So I'm like trying to explain to a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old.
I'm having a panic attack.
I'm having a panic.
Mommy's okay, but she needs to go.
So now all three of them are full level 10 hot red flashing radar is going off, right? And no one's helping me. And I don't, at this point in my motherhood journey, I don't care if anyone's staring or whatever. I'm like, who cares? This doesn't have anything to do with me.
If this isn't your today, it's your tomorrow. So.
Right. And so I'm hunched over, pushing the cart, trying to breathe. So I get in there. I just get them home. They're screaming, losing their mind. I think I crawled into the house and I was just like, run, it's your turn.
That is so real.
I swear I didn't take all three of them to Target
still haven't.
for over a year.
Sure.
I think maybe we've gone
You
back.
actually learned your lesson after that experience.
Gosh. What about you?
Yeah, mine happened a few months ago. We talk about this quite often on the podcast. I feel like I am idealistic and I view everything with rose-colored lenses, and I have a hard time seeing how things are going to go badly.
Right.
Which is why friends like you, husbands like Wes, are so good in my life because you're very realistic. So I always have these high hopes of what this thing's going to look like. So I got so excited. I told Sunny because she had just entered the era of wanting to be in fun princess dresses. And so I told her on a Friday, and I had Coco in the carrier at that point. She was really young. And Sunny had just turned 2, and I said, we're going to go to Target, and you get to pick out a princess dress. And she's so excited, all the things. So we go into Target, and I just didn't think through her seeing dresses that I didn't want her to get. So we get to the section and immediately she sees the branded Disney princess dresses, which, by the way, are around $50.
Yeah.
Which, I'm sorry, I'm not spending that on her dress. So she's looking at the dresses with Ariel and some other characters I don't know. And I said, well, we're not going to get these dresses. And she starts getting really sad. So I make the cardinal mistake. I said, well, why don't you try it on and wear it for a couple minutes and then we'll go pick something else out. I mean, that's
that hurts.
Yeah, it hurts.
But you had to go through it.
Yeah, I had to go through it. So she's so excited. So I'm like, okay, we got this. She puts the dress on. She's feeling herself. I let it go on for a couple minutes. And then I say, okay, Sunny, it's time to take it off and go find a different one. Level 10. Laying on the ground. Excuse me. Laying on the ground in the princess dress. Absolutely losing her mind. I mean, parents are staring.
Sure.
I mean, she's just freaking out.
You're
so
sweating.
It gets to the point. So then she starts running. She's running, and I'm chasing her, but I have Coco in the carrier, and I'm trying to chase this 2-year-old. Which nothing makes you feel weaker than actually trying to chase your toddler. Or less in control.
And not catching them.
Literally not catching her. And I finally catch her, and she's thrashing. I have to physically force her out of the dress.
Yep.
And to which I'm now heartbroken that I've done this.
Right.
I am the reason she's this upset because I thought it was a good idea to let her try it on.
You teased her.
Yeah. So we finally get it off, and then thank goodness, just the Lord and his great mercy, we round the corner, And there are these unbranded, big, poofy princess dresses that she was obsessed with. So we ended up getting that one. And it all ended up being fine. But for 10 minutes there, I said I'm never going to Target again.
Yeah,
and
you were scarred.
I actually don't think I've brought both kids to Target by myself since then. And that was probably almost a year ago.
No, my oldest is about to be 8, and I still have to really think about if I'm going to do this. Like, I have to sit and think about how's this going to go? How's this going to play out? What are the boundaries?
It's just too much.
It's
too much for them too.
And it's honestly only at Target.
They're
I guess
the
maybe
air
at
with...
Walmart gets a little crazy too. But
it's any store with lots of things and lots of
choices,
options,
right?
And
lots of
they
price
just see
range.
everything and have to touch everything.
Yeah.
And I want everything, and it's just
because we do
Target is a slippery slope for us, though, isn't it?
So
it's like, of course,
you go in there and you spend $100 automatically. We shop a lot of consignment and thrift, which again, it's like they're going to touch everything and they're going to be into everything, but I feel much better getting them 2 things that are $1.
Sure.
Or something that is way cooler or rare or something, and it's like a treasure hunt
for you. For some of us.
No, you're not into that. Ugh, we got to talk about that another time.
Okay. Oh, running stories. This category is really for you. Okay. I haven't had a running story since the last time I ran, circa, I don't even know, years ago.
Okay, but
you have a plethora of running stories.
Okay, so I didn't really realize it's been 3 years almost since I really got into running, and it's been probably 2 years or so, which all these kind of happened back to back, and I realized, wow, running is a big adventure. You never know what's going to happen. So one time I'm running, I'm finishing up a long run. I'm tired. I'm just kind of, head down, just kind of making it to the end. And I see something ahead of me. And I kind of stop. It's one of those, like, you're like, is this real or not? And it was a 10-foot alligator.
10 feet.
I'm dead serious. I'm not exaggerating. I know I exaggerate a lot. I'm dead serious. Maybe 8, okay? Definitely bigger than 6 feet, okay? Alligator, and its humongous head is on the sidewalk. So I'm probably 10 feet away from it when I realized, praise the Lord, because I was going to run. If I wasn't paying attention, I would have ran right by it. And who knows?
Did you run zigzag after?
Stop. I ran like on the road, like around it. And then luckily I turned and there's a police officer sitting there. And I'm like, there's, and he's like, oh yeah, old Fred. He's been there forever. And I'm like, well we need to get him out. I have a picture of him and everything. And so then I always had this thought when I was running is, what if I got bit by a dog? And then it happened. But praise the Lord, it could have been so much worse. I'm going by this woman whose dog is on a leash, and whenever I go by a dog, I'd like do kind of like a big roundabout because I know, they could bite me. Well, this dog lunges on the leash across and bites my arm, and the woman is shocked.
Stunned.
She's like, this dog has never done anything like this, not an aggressive dog. Thankfully, I had she was
kind of saying, like, this is your fault.
Yeah, of course. We were both.
This dog's never done anything like this.
We were both like just shocked. But thankfully, I had kind of moved my arm, and so it didn't even like break the skin. It like nicked,
that is wild.
But I'm like, this random dog just could have bitten me and I had to go get shots and all this stuff. But here's my favorite is it's early in the morning. I'm in my neighborhood and I start off running. It's dark, and about like 3 or 4 houses down, I hear some rustling. And so I look over and I have these little lights on my belt, and like I turn and the light hits directly, and there's this car in the driveway and there's a man working on the car. And he has a red t-shirt on and nothing else. Nothing else. So my light hits the full moon.
Spotlight.
And
Oh, he was back facing.
And
Goodness.
he was fully like Winnie the Pooh, red shirt,
Winnie the
nothing on.
That's traumatic.
So in my head, I'm like, that's not real. I just totally envision it. It's a mirage, right? So I keep...
I'm hallucinating.
I'm hallucinating because I have so many questions. Why did you just put the shirt on? Like, why not? It takes the same amount of effort to cover up the bottom half.
Yeah, and if anything, as a man, you actually don't need the shirt. Like
100%.
You absolutely need pants.
Absolutely need the pants. Number two, why are you working on your vehicle when it's early dark in the morning? And isn't this very dangerous for you to be working on your carburetor? You know, it's like, so I had to go. I did a big circle around the neighborhood. Had to come back, and he was inside the garage now, like puddling around, putzing around, and I just couldn't.
But he's still naked.
Yeah, I didn't see anything else, but like, I mean, thankfully
shone on the full moon.
Full moon, right there, red shirt. Crop top. It was a crop top.
He woke up and he's like, I have to work on my car. I don't even have time to put pants on. I have to work on my car now.
Maybe he sleeps in the crop top and then just that. Again, I mean, people are odd.
Maybe he was sleepwalking.
I'd put money on no, but let's keep going.
Okay, it's your turn.
My turn? Okay.
Oh, Target horror. We already did that. Oh, spinning in.
What is it?
That was pet peeves.
Pet peeves. We got to come on.
Olympics.
Oh, yeah. Olympics. Yes.
Yeah, just move it over to Olympics.
We love the Olympics.
We love the Olympics.
Al, you've been to the Olympics.
I have been to the Olympics twice.
Not to compete. Make it clear, not to compete.
I have competed in the Olympics twice. I'm pretty sure nobody was confused when I said I've been to the Olympics. Yes, I've attended the Olympics twice. The Olympics have been a really big part of my family, pretty much as far as I can remember. My mom won a rewards trip to the 1996 Atlanta Olympics and then again to the Sydney Olympics in 2000. And my dad got to go, and they fell in love with the Olympics. And really, not to make it an over philosophied thing, but their view of it was, when else in history do this many countries get to come together on an even playing field, and there's not political drama and there's not country drama, and you just get to cheer on each other and your country, and like, it's such a pure competition. Now, of course, there's all the stuff that leaks into it, but it's just such a beautiful global picture of the world. And you see all these small countries that get to be represented and all of that. So they fell in love with it. They were determined that my sisters and I needed to experience it. So we went to Beijing Olympics in 2008, and it was incredible. But China just did it a little bit differently. The Olympic Village was pretty spread out, and the venues were spread out. And so my parents just didn't feel like we really got the true Olympic Village experience. So then, of course, we had to go back.
Of course.
And so then we went to London in 2012. And it was, I mean, truly one of my most favorite memories of childhood. It was such a formative experience with the Olympics. And so my family is obsessed. We were supposed to go to Tokyo. We were finally going to be able to bring our spouses. And then, of course, they didn't allow any viewers to come to Tokyo. And now we have children. And so we're holding out for, LA is in 4 years. Yeah. And then it's back in Australia in 8 years. And so we're holding out for 2032 in Brisbane, Australia. But yeah, we're obsessed with the Olympics. And you are also obsessed with the Olympics.
Yeah. It was huge. The 96 Atlanta Olympics, I was like 9 years old. And it was so formative. It's the first time the women's soccer was in the Olympics, and the USA won.
Yes.
2-1. And it was like,
that was Mia Hamm, right?
It was Mia Hamm and Michelle Akers and like that whole crew. And I grew up playing soccer.
Brandy Chastain.
And it was It was insane. That was the World Cup when she did that.
Yeah,
but
she's still just known for it.
She's right. And I remember like literally sitting on my couch, really jumping up on my couch with my mom, screaming. And then the same year with the gymnast, with Carrie Strug,
yes.
and we got the gold. And so like those windbreakers, man, those 96 Atlanta windbreakers, I can just see them.
I know.
It was so formative because I've always just been an athlete and I've loved competition, and to see women make these groundbreaking accomplishments. So I've always been in love with it. And so with it going on the past couple weeks, we've just been like texting nonstop and watching it.
If you were going to be in the Olympics, not based on your athletic profile, just based on what you think would be fun, what sport would you pick to play if you could pick any sport to play in the Olympics?
I mean, I told you this, is that I really think if I was born in a different place and I was younger back in my heyday, I mean, rugby sounds so fun to me.
So aggressive.
I know, but that's just, I got in me.
I know, yeah, you do.
Because we both grew up playing soccer, and of course, like as a child or as a young girl, I always dreamed like I'm going to the Olympics to play soccer, you know. But man, rugby is like soccer and football, and you can just tackle people,
just crush
and
people.
I have that in me. Like
you definitely have that.
I got some, not now at the age of 36.
Now you would break several bones if you tried to tackle someone.
But like this year, our women's rugby team won bronze, first medal ever. They're on the map, and I'm just there for that sort of like just diehard competition stuff.
Yeah, I get that.
What about you?
I think if I could pick any sport, it would probably be beach volleyball. And here's why I say this, because yes, I grew up playing competitive soccer, but I would say my sweet spot on my teams was always like the morale boosting fun leader of the team, not the most skilled on the team always. And that's just kind of, I've always embodied that. And when we got to go see beach volleyball in London, and it was a party. They brought out hula dancers during timeout. There's a DJ. They do different chants. They play songs, like the whole stadium singing Sweet Caroline. It was such a party. That would be so fun to be a part of the party sport.
No, it's so fun to watch beach volleyball because and when it's just two people, I love both team and individual sports, but there is something about sharing that moment with someone, with a teammate, and to see, especially, I love watching the women and just like the pairs that we've had through the years, and just
the bathing suits are so small though. I would need a much more coverage bathing suit,
a full coverage with the skirt. Can you imagine?
No, I don't need a skirt. Actually, I showed up to volleyball tryouts in middle school, and they wear those tiny shorts for indoor. And I wore my soccer sliders, which the ones that were cool at the time were the knee-length ones. So I showed up to volleyball tryouts in my knee-length sliders, and the high schoolers made fun of me, and I never went back to volleyball.
No, you did not.
Yeah, it was kind of sad. Okay.
Sorry about that.
I love the Olympics. I can't believe we had to wait 4 more years.
I know, but we are just
upset.
I mean, it's been a good Olympics.
No, this has been an incredible. Snoop Dogg, are you kidding?
Snoop Dogg
broke the internet.
The moments that we're having, these athletes are having world records.
Insane.
Winning by milliseconds.
Yeah, what? Noah Lyles won by 5,000ths of a second. Faster than your eye blinking.
Sydney McLaughlin, my favorite. She keeps
breaking her own
world records. And the most beautiful thing, she gives all the glory to God. Her and her husband are very public Christians. And in an interview I just saw with her, she said, world records come and go. Like, gold medals fade, but the Lord doesn't. Like, she just gives all the glory to Christ. And
so good.
What an athlete and a woman to look at and say she's the top of her field, and she's doing it with such class and with such humility.
For sure. And she doesn't even look like she's trying. She finishes the race and her mouth isn't even open, breathing. If I ran 10 feet of that race, I would be on the floor. One hurdle. I don't even think I can clear one hurdle. Okay. Oh, favorite parable.
Ooh.
This is a good one. What's your favorite parable?
I would say there's two. One, I love the hidden treasure, where the man finds a treasure and he.
Of course
he
you do. Treasure is your favorite word. Especially when it comes to the Bible.
It's so good. Let me finish. He hides the treasure and then he goes and sells everything and buys the field. Because here's the thing, is that over the years God has softened my heart so much to see him and the word as a treasure that was like not in my natural disposition. And so the Holy Spirit has totally changed and really has used that word in my life. And so I love the fact that he's like, to have God is to have everything. He's better than anything that we could have. He's better than life himself, even though he is life and we have eternal life with him, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And then the other one is the lost coin, where the woman loses the coin, because I can relate to this so much. If you want to see me really flip a lid, and there's been sanctification, but there's still much more to go, is if I lose something. I rarely lose something. I'm not saying I'm organized. It's like organized chaos.
Sure.
I'm responsible in the sense of I know where my things are. I keep track. And so this parable of this woman who loses a coin and she tears her entire house, and I can just like
You're resonating with her.
I'm resonating. And that's what God does for the one, right? Is that he goes after the one, and the angels rejoice when one repents.
Yeah, I feel like it's a little bit of a cop-out, but the Bible can't be a cop-out, so. But the prodigal son.
Sure.
Which, I mean, goes with the lost coin, but Luke 15, the son, I had always resonated with the youngest son who just lives a life feeding his own desires and gets to the point where he has nothing and wants to come back. And the father welcomes him, runs after him, open arms, welcomes him in, gives him his robe. And then it wasn't until really when Wes and I started dating and Wes told me about Tim Keller's book, what's it called? The
Prodigal God? Is it?
Prodigal God.
Yeah.
Where it talks about the older son too. And I had really never heard that because Wes said, well, I really resonate with the older son. And it's just such a beautiful picture because it touches both. It encapsulates every kind of person, whether you were more drawn to fleshly desires and living a life for yourself, or the legalistic, I'm going to keep all the rules and not break any of them and call that righteousness.
Right.
And so I just love that really touches all people. And I feel like there's just no better picture of the Father's love than that parable.
Oh, it's so profound.
Yeah. And then, I mean, the sheep is just so good. And that the shepherd, if he loses one sheep, will go and find the one sheep. Same with the lost coin. Is such a beautiful picture. Again, I feel like I need to be reminded that I'm a dumb sheep and that I can't do anything in my own right, and God can do it all and will do it all and will come find me when I start to drift away.
Amen.
And that life is better in a pack of sheep. And there's just so much there. Wolves protecting from wolves, and the shepherd protecting us from wolves, and all of that. So parables are so cool because we're both lovers of language and literature and stories, and the way Jesus uses just very accessible, easy to consume word pictures to teach us about him is so powerful.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and it shows the beauty of his humanity and his connection with people, because he's speaking in language that they're going to be able to understand, right? There's like a lot of agriculture analogies, gardening and sheep and all of these things. And he spoke in a way of these insanely upside down God kingdom things. And he said, just have faith like a child. You know, like the way that we talk to our children, it's like we tell stories and we use illustrations, and they learn by doing and all of those things, you know?
For sure. All right, we have time for one more.
My turn or yours?
I don't know. You go for it.
Come on, we got to do it.
Nope. Wow, it's really loving our husband's pet peeves.
The pet peeves one.
Oh, good one to end
this
on.
is a good one.
This is probably going to be like part 1. We could do a whole episode on food.
Yes.
All caps. Food. We talk about food a lot.
We love food.
We love food. And we both have journeys with food where there was a point in time we didn't have a great relationship with food.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your journey.
Yeah.
Which I actually think we've talked about a little bit on the podcast. But
I think
anyway,
I mentioned it a little bit. But in high school, I had a full-fledged eating disorder, anorexia, that was diagnosed, and it's so weird because I literally remember saying out loud, I think when I was in middle school, like, I'll never have that. I'll never do that. I love food so much, and it's not about loving food, right? Sure. It's for whatever reason at that point in my life. And I was following the Lord, but you know, at 16 years old, like you're young and dumb, and there's so much change and emotion going on. So for whatever reason, that was kind of where I sought control in my life, was with food, and so went through journey of depriving and restricting, and then I went like the opposite way of binging, and so I've really been on like the whole spectrum. Even probably I've been completely healed. It's been 10 years, but for probably 10 years of my life, I was controlled by food, whether it was not eating enough, eating too much, weighing and measuring, controlling this, controlling that. It had a hold on me. And really, when I got married to Ron, there was something there that God healed and kind of clicked, which started my really recovery process. And so you and I both are just really passionate about talking about this because we have such a culture that is obsessed with diet, with beauty, with a certain body type, with all these things, for right? Sure. And there's so many lies that are fed to us constantly. And I know that this is a sensitive topic, like it really is. But going through what I've gone through, I'm so much more aware. Like when I hear people, not just women, but men too, say certain comments about food or how they relate to their body or anything like that. And none of us are perfect, and none of us will have a perfect relationship with food until we're at the wedding banquet with Christ, right? But the biggest thing that changed me was God using counseling and some really just solid truth in my life. So one of the things that I like to pass along is that we tend to attach morality to food, meaning that we label food as good and bad. And so when we eat what we've labeled as bad food, then we have attached the morality to say, then I'm bad for doing that. And that was a truth that my counselor gave me, that it took years and years to process that. But I love that because I'm such a black and white, like just truth. Give me some facts that I can hold on to. And the fact is that food doesn't have morale. There's higher nutritional food and lower nutritional food. We're all different. We all need different. Our bodies need different types of food and nutrients. But when I could really grasp the fact that that food in and of itself has no morale attached to it, so it doesn't mean that I am a certain thing if I eat that food. Right. There was like just this floodgate of freedom. And I know yours is similar to that. So I just love to talk with people about that and just ask certain questions, because sometimes we're just blind to it. Sure. You know?
Yeah, I feel like I was just putting too much power in something that doesn't have power. And the book that really changed my life was Lisa Turker's book, Made to Crave. And finally understanding that drugs never really got me. Other like fleshly lures didn't get me as much, but that the enemy could use food to doubt my body, to doubt God, to doubt God's goodness in my life was kind of revolutionary. And viewing food as what it is instead of putting so much weight on it. I mean, what I did was, I just went to it for comfort, and when something wasn't going good in my life, trying to seek comfort in something that couldn't give me comfort.
Yeah, or just a temporary comfort.
Yeah, exactly. And then feeling guilty about it. And we're not meant to feel guilty when we eat and enjoy what God's given us. I mean, it's the classic tale of the enemy taking what God intended for good and twisting it and making it evil. And food in and of itself, God designed for us to enjoy freely.
Yeah.
And it is so like the enemy, especially for women, to take that thing that we need because we have to eat it to survive.
Right.
Like an alcoholic will survive without alcohol.
Right.
But when gluttony or restricting or whatever it is related to food is a sin in your life, then it's just so hard to combat sometimes because it's everywhere and you have to have it to survive. And so learning how God's designed it and being able to walk in freedom and enjoy food for what it is and not feel emotional binding to it or feeling like you have to have a certain body type to be beautiful or reach this standard of beauty that is quite honestly impossible. I mean, I literally thought I was like, when I was in high school and I was a size 6, I thought I was massive, like the biggest girl that's ever existed. And it's just such a warped standard of beauty.
Well, it is because it's, and you don't have to have a diagnosed eating disorder for this to affect you. There's a difference between that and disordered eating or an unhealthy relationship with food. And ultimately it all comes back to, it is for Christ that it is for freedom that Christ has set us free. And food, just like you're saying from this book, is a way that we can be enslaved to, is a thing that we can be enslaved to, just like anything else. And it is trickier because we have to have it to survive. But the fact is that there is no condemnation in Christ. He actually has purchased your freedom and he wants you to walk in it. And so if there's anyone listening that has never really thought about or has never, I guess, evaluated, is my relationship with food actually healthy or have I just kind of gone with the flow of culture? I would just ask you to lean into that and see, again, what does the Lord have underneath the surface there that he wants you to live in that abundant freedom.
For sure. Yeah. And there's so much freedom to be found in it and so much that we can pass on to people that we love, just in the way that we talk about ourselves and about food in a really positive way that will help others reach freedom. So in that light, what foods are you enjoying right now?
Ooh. Gosh. I took a break from sushi when I was pregnant. Because I was eating raw octopus in elementary school. Like, I've loved sushi, okay? And then when getting pregnant, you're not supposed to have raw stuff. But then I had like an aversion for years after. But I'm back, baby.
Hard.
And the salmon katsu roll, okay? That is calling my name. And you know what? My oldest, Ezekiel, I've got him in.
Wow.
He'll eat a whole California roll. So he asked me almost every night, can you order me one? I'm like, no, we can't order sushi every night, But him and I will sit. I took him on a date to fancy sushi, and we'll have edamame. He called edamames. He calls
obviously.
them. I got to have that. And it's California roll.
Wow.
And so I'm here for the sushi. You're not a big sushi fan.
I can't do anything raw fish. It's gross.
It doesn't have to be raw.
Yeah,
I mean, if you let me, I will open you up to a whole new world.
I mean, I've been in the world. I just can't do it. I've been craving Salumeria's grass-fed New Zealand filet. I had it twice in 1 week.
Really?
Yeah, and it is not cheap, but it is.
I love
good.
a good filet.
It's so good.
Oh,
it's so
okay.
good.
I'll have to.
It's so good. Okay. Well, we're out of time. I don't know if we hit every topic. I think we missed a couple, but we'll continue on the next time. But Caitlin, always such a joy to have you. We laugh,
love him.
We commiserate, and we talk about Jesus.
That's right.
That pretty much defines our friendship.
That's right. Bye.
Bye. Neighbors is produced by Logger Creative and Taylor Minning. Music by Austin and Lindsay Adamak. Artwork by Wesley Parsons. And motion graphics by Robbie Burns.
Living to love life, living to love life. You have loved me. You show me brighter days, new mercies every morning. You never shy away.